this evolution. She is the founder of Heart Homecoming and Divine Integration Healing. For several decades, with God's help, Haya has been supporting individuals, groups worldwide as they achieve profound growth and wellness and nurture healthy relationships. They thrive to contribute their soul light to the holy symphony of light. Upon graduating with honors from Columbia and completing her master's at NYU in environmental education, Haya chose to dedicate her life to supporting the inner human environment. For the last several decades, she's been developing, facilitating, and teaching individuals prayer-based body, mind, consciousness, healing, and transformation for a new era of Geula redemption. Haya's Heart Homecoming and Divine Integration Healing are unique modalities which draw upon principles of somatic work, mindfulness, logotherapy, energy psychology, ecology, and other natural sciences. Her greatest inspiration, however, comes from the holy wisdom of the Torah as passed down through the ages by our prophets and sages. So we welcome you, Chaya. You just have to take yourself off of mute.
Thank you very much for the Tehillim and the Nishmas. It was so wonderful to hear your voices. It means so much to me to join you here in prayer and in Kavana to bring Geula to each and every one of our homes, our hearts, and the whole world. So where do I begin? I begin from the beginning. When Hashem asked Adam and Chava, Ayeka, I find that core question, Ayeka, where are you, is my personal key back to awareness of Hashem's presence within us. Whenever I get lost, and it can happen every few minutes, I remember Ayeka. I ask myself, where are you, Chaya? And where I am, I can find Hashem dwelling within us at every moment. Now, this may be something that you all do every moment of your lives as well. And I had a question. How do we get into the simcha that brings geula? Ki besimcha tetzeu ubeshalom tuvalun. How do we get to that simcha when we are having a hard time? And as we see around us, there are plenty of hard times to practice these skills. And why are we going through this? That's another question completely. I'm not sure we have the answers to that, but there are some clues. So I'll go into the first question, my first question first. How do we find our way from difficulties of life and challenges of Chevlei Mashiach into a state of simcha? I used to think that it is enough to have the kavana to be in simcha and to convince myself that I'm in simcha in order to be there. But I ran up against some big challenges that made it difficult for me to do that work of lechatchila aribel, as the Rabbi would say, climbing over the fence in order to get to that simcha. Sometimes the challenges were so great, that was not my ideal tool, not for that moment. And I discovered that I could find the simcha through actually accepting the answer to Ayeka within me. As Hashem asks me, Ayeka, where are you, Haya? If I answer by noticing where I am in space-time in this given moment, I can find my way to simcha. Because wherever I am in this moment, is a true gateway back to simcha and emuna and bitachon. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll give you an example. When I was a young child, my mother already had Alzheimer's disease. She had Alzheimer's disease since I was born because I was her bat sikunim. I was born to her late in life, Baruch Hashem, and I had the best mother ever, even though she had dementia, because she had a heart full of love. But sometimes it was very difficult when my mother couldn't understand me. And I found myself very much alone. So I would turn to Hashem and say, Ayeka, where are you, Haya? That's what you're asking me? I'm in distress. I don't know what to do because my mother can't understand English or Hebrew anymore. I can't converse with her. And she's a great tzadikah, but I'm so sad because I can feel her love, but I can't connect to her mind anymore. And I would just sit with that sadness and notice that Hashem was with me. Mibchinat imo anochi betzara. Hashem was with me in that tza'ar. Just as Hashem is with us in all of our travails and all of our challenges, as Hashem was with Bnei Israel in Mitzrayim. And what did Bnei Israel need to do? They needed to cry out. Vayishma Hashem et na'akatam. So I cried out. And I found that if I am clear with Hashem and with myself about where I am, I can find Hashem's ever-presence with me, helping me through into the light of simcha. Bo lefanav birnana. And how did I discover this as a tool? That was later when my mother was much older and she was in a coma. And I was in my 30s and I refused to accept that my mother could not be helped. So I would sit with her for hours whenever I was not taking care of my children. Baruch Hashem, I would sit with my mother for hours every week. And I would just be with her in that Ayeka place and breathe with her in this Ayeka place. And what happened is something amazing that I didn't expect. Her condition improved. All of her chronic inflammation went away. She needed no more medication. Her seizures stopped, and she started opening her eyes to me and turning her head to me, something she hadn't done in years, and nodding yes and no intelligently. It took a few years, but it was a miracle. And I realized that when we are in this Ayeka place with ourselves and with others, our hearts open to ourselves, to each other, and to Hashem's presence within us. So I'd like to lead you through a small meditation about being in that Ayeka place. Where are you in this moment? To be in your Ayeka place, you need to notice your position in space-time. Notice the support beneath your body, wherever you're sitting in a comfortable position. Notice any sounds around you. Notice a few textures in your environment, or even a few colors. Notice what happens inside your body as you become aware of your Ayeka place. Where are you? In the here and now. Yes. you slow down and you become present for the moment. And now remember something for which you are grateful to Hashem. As you recall that, that's something, a special gift Hashem gave you. Whether it be something in your relationships, that special someone you love, or a special quality that Hashem gave you in your personality. Is it your empathy? Is it your simcha? Is it your emunah and bitachon? Is it your desire to give and to light up the world? Is it a connection you have with nature or music? Whatever that may be that inspires you, when you remember that gift from Hashem, notice how you feel in your body. Ayeka, where are you in your body when you remember this gift from Hashem? Breathe through that place in your body where you feel gratitude. And notice the sensation of gratitude in your body. And now, remember a special quality, a special midah that Hashem gave you, that nekudat tovah, that good spot that Rabbi Nachman encourages us to find inside ourselves. Remember that special virtue that Hashem gave you, a gift of nurturing within. And nurturing without towards others. Remember that special gift you have as a Jewish woman. And as you think of that special virtue and the values you stand for in service of Hashem in this world, notice where in your body you feel that gratitude for that special midah that you are developing, and you don't have to be perfect. Notice the place in your body that represents that special midah, that nekudat tovah. Breathe through that place. Please mute. Whoever's not muted, please mute. Everyone check that they're muted right now. Thank you. And where are you now in your body? You may sense someplace in your body that feels a little bit of stress. And this is normal. in the ratzov v'shov of our soul, back and forth from Ayin into Yesh, from Hashem's infinite presence, and back into our bodies. Every moment anew, Hashem is recreating us. As that happens, we are always going from a state of complete healing to a state of working through stress. And this is normal, because as we work through stress, we reveal that simcha in our hearts. You don't have to believe me. Let's try it out. Notice the place in your body that represents a stress response, a place that doesn't feel quite at ease yet. And that's normal. Notice that place in your body where you feel that slight stress. Notice it with curiosity. Notice it with kindness. Notice it with love. And breathe through it with Hashem's unconditional breath of life on your exhales and on your inhales, right through that place in your body where you feel that stress. And let your breath come naturally. Let it establish its own rhythm and its own cadence through that place in your body that needs a little extra tender, loving care. And notice what happens as you are with yourself, breathing with Hashem through that stress point in your body. With unconditional understanding and compassion. And if that place inside you had something it wanted you to know, notice what that would be with curiosity and understanding. What does that place inside you need from you? What does that stressed place inside you need from Hashem? Allow that place inside you to have a hitbodedut moment with Hashem at this very place and time. As you breathe through that place in your body, allow it to speak its heart to Hashem. Feel free to take extra time for this hitbodedut with Hashem anytime you wish. And now notice, as you continue to breathe Hashem's breath of life through that place in your body that was stressed, what do you notice now? Where are you now in space-time? And what emotion is coming up for you now? Ayeka, where are you now? You may have noticed a slight shift, even in your physiology. You may have noticed a few spontaneous cleansing breaths. You may notice gurgling in your stomach. You may notice yawning. You may notice coughing or any other release of tension in your body. Hitbodedut is healing and finding out where we are in any given moment to find Hashem within, to find Hashem's unconditional kindness within is the foundation of our lives. As it says, Olam chesed yibaneh, a world of kindness shall be built. In the world around us, notice any sights in your environment. Notice them with kind eyes, imbued with the kindness of Hashem. Notice any sounds in your environment. Notice them with kind ears, imbued by the kindness of Hashem. you may want to give yourself a hug, thanking yourself and thanking Hashem for these moments of presence. I encourage you to take time to answer the question, Ayeka, anytime you feel stressed out, which may be in any given moment, and that's normal. That's very normal. Or as you will discover, every time we come home to Hashem within, we are sweetening the dinim, we're sweetening the stress in this world and all worlds, and bringing ourselves and all worlds closer to Hashem's unconditional kindness, which is the very foundation of all existence. So whenever you feel like the earth is quaking and there's so much uncertainty and all the institutions that we have relied upon are a little shaky, more than a little, come back to your Ayeka place and find your foundation in Olam Chesed Ibaneh, a new world of Chesed, of Hashem's unconditional kindness, is being rebuilt, starting within your own heart. You may want to tap your fingers and your toes and come back to the here and now with all this love in your heart. And if you should feel stressed again in a few moments, and you probably will, we all do, just notice where you are with kindness and curiosity, and find Hashem within, breathing through you unconditionally. Okay. If there are any comments, if anyone would like to share, or any questions, feel free.
Hi, hello. My name is Charlene. I'm from Muncie. Because of you mentioned that verse Olam Chesed Yibaneh, I had a memory of one of my twins climbing my bed when she was 2.5 years old, and she asked me, why was the world created? I'm like, okay, it's early in the morning, 2.5 years old. I said, well, it says in Hebrew, Olam Chesed Yibaneh, we are here to do good. And that's why the world exists. So I got a flashback from 34 years ago.
Wow.
And it's still relevant.
It's so relevant. That's all it is. And you have such a wise child.
Really special. But anyway, she's an artist. So okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you. You put me back 34 years ago, and I see that 34 years of my life has been, in my family at least, and around me, trying to do chesed in a good way, like not expecting anything in return, just doing it because God does us to us. So we imitate him and we do it to others. So I'm a chesed girl.
You're
All right,
a chesed
thank
girl.
you. Yeah, I'm a chesed girl. Proud to be.
I love you, Charlene, chesed girl.
You too. I love your voice. Your voice is really soothing. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlene. Keep up that chesed work. Wonderful. You're lighting up the world. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And does anyone else? Yes?
Hi, I'm Danielle. I live in Baltimore, and this couldn't have come at a better time. What you said was so beautiful. I feel like you're a soul sister. I'm definitely one of your soul sisters. My father has dementia, and at the moment he's in the hospital, and I've not been able to connect to him. And he's got some internal bleeding, Yechiel ben Miriam Bluma. And I'm just
Yichil
having,
b'Miriam Bluma.
yes, and I'm just having trouble connecting to him. I know when I come in, he smiles, but I don't know if, does he see me? Does he know I'm like, I don't know what to do, kind of. And so I stay away a little bit.
I encourage you to come closer. You know what I found out from my mother?
What's that?
Well, she never could speak, but she could answer yes and no intelligently. But to help me converse with her, I brought a woman from Shari Chesed. I wish I remembered her name. A woman from Shari Chesed in Yerushalayim came with me to my mother, and she helped my mother point to letters on a letterboard by supporting her hand. And my mother spelled out that she was not at all suffering, and that
Wow.
she was in heaven with Hashem.
Wow.
And that's why her brain wasn't working in this world, but that she was in bliss, feeling Hashem's unconditional love.
Wow.
And that she wanted me to learn that.
Wow.
So I encourage you to know that that's where your father is.
Wow.
And that helped me be able to sit with her and be there with her and breathe with her through her Ayeka place. In that chesed that Charlene spoke about and that you are bringing to the world, Danielle, and your father brings to the world, because that's what he's experiencing with Hashem. And he has the opportunity to be in both worlds with that. And that's a special place. You may see him suffering, but at least from my mother's perspective, and I'm sure this is true of many people who are mentally incapacitated, that they are actually feeling the bliss of Hashem's unconditional love, both in the other world and in this world simultaneously.
Wow.
And that is a gift. Now, they may also have bodily stress going on, and that you can help him with by just breathing with him through his Ayeka place with that vision of unconditional love and understanding. And notice what happens.
So make my breath match his breath?
No, you keep your, that is important. Great question. Always start with your own process. So when I came to my mother and I felt stress, seeing her difficult physical condition, and also the infections that she had to deal with initially until they started healing, Be'ezrat Hashem, I was under a lot of stress myself. I couldn't help anyone when I was in full-blown stress.
Right.
So I had to first practice these skills with myself and be in Ayeka with Hashem in my stress until I was able to begin to open my heart and feel simcha that comes from accepting my stress and my sadness and my worry and even any other emotion that came up for me when I saw my mother in that condition. So I would work with myself first, and then when I felt coherent and in Hashem's chesed and breathing Hashem's chesed, then I was in a position to breathe with my mother and also with my children and also with people from all over the world, where I teach them to breathe through themselves once they find that place inside that is coherent. After accepting ourselves, our incoherence. And then when I come to my mother, when you come to your father from your place of coherence, then he will come into coherence with his self. And you just stay in your breath, but follow your father's breath. And new stresses will come up as you're with him. Allow yourself to be with that in compassion, in Hashem's compassion and love and understanding. And notice how that releases, that stress releases. And simultaneously, whoever is with you will start to attune to that coherence, especially someone with whom you have kavanah to do so.
Thank you. I sing Hebrew songs to him, and that helps too.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah.
music from Hashem and the sound of Hebrew. If you sing to him, oh my goodness, the sound of your voice. That's the greatest healing.
Thank you so much. This has been wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're most welcome. Anyone else want to share or ask questions?
Hi, my name is Alyssa. I find that incredible, your mother's story. Just wondering, so how did your mother raise you, or who raised you?
My father was a great rabbi, Alyssa. Thank you for asking.
Baruch Hashem.
And
Whoa.
he raised me. My mother also raised me in her own way. She was such a tzadikah. She taught me so much. And my father was a great rabbi and a great Ohev Yisrael. I saw how he treated my mother, and that was for me an example. My father was a great tzaddik and a man of deep, deep love for every human being. And he wasn't a man of a lot of words, although he gave good divrei Torah, and he was a baal tefillah. But mostly he showed people that he cared about them. And that for me meant everything. To seeing my father's twinkle in his eyes, that was all I needed.
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch
Wow.
Hashem. Thank you for asking, Alyssa. Any other questions or comments? I don't know what time we're meant to finish. I think by the hour, right? I think so.
Could you elaborate on the word Ayeka?
Ayeka means
I know what it means, right?
Oh, you know what it means? It means where are you?
I know what it means, but is there because Ayeka is found in the Torah a few places, and it's Ayeka is in the moment, but could it be in the past? Could it be in the future?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it could be. What a great question. Charlene, that was a wonderful question. Yes, it could have been in the past, and it could be in the future, of course. So I love to work with my clients with their inner children or their inner younger selves from the past who may need help coming into coherence with Hashem in their moments of stress. And maybe they haven't resolved a moment of stress from the past and they're still stuck in it. Mm-hmm. And that's where we sometimes need personal help in coming back home to our hearts with Hashem. Very good question.
What about the future? Is that arrogant to even ask for the future in Ayeka in the future?
I love your question. And you know, it's a special question because I think what you're touching upon is a major key to our Geulah. Because what part of us is joining Hashem to bring us forth into the future? It's our future selves. It's the part of us that's more evolved than we ever have been up till now. We continue to mature and understand more and more. And so what you're asking is, how can we connect to that future Geulah self? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But I know the future is not in my hand. The past is gone. That's where my question comes from.
Yes, but we can always connect because as Chazal teach us, En mukdam u'me'ochar b'Torah. There's no past and future in the Torah. There's not early and later in the Torah. It's always in the present. So,
I love it.
And what does that teach us? It teaches us that really, in Hashem's reality, beyond creation, there is no time. Time is a creation. So we can reach outside of space-time to our higher, more evolved selves, the parts of us that have achieved even greater closeness with Hashem and even greater heart opening to ourselves and to each other. And we can draw upon that wisdom and allow those wise parts of us who are even more connected to Hashem, just like we draw upon the merit of tzaddikim and the merit of our forefathers and mothers. We draw upon that. We can draw upon our future selves as well, the merit of our future mitzvot, our future connection to Hashem.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlene. Thank
It's
you.
energy boosting.
It sure is. Thanks for that question.
Thank
We
you.
can really, like many rabbis say that when they learn the Rambam is with them in the room. Or if a person is learning any sefer, the gadol who wrote that sefer, the tzaddik who wrote that sefer, is with them as they're learning the Tana, the Amora, as they're learning Gemara and Mishnah. Those tzaddikim are with us. So when we are in our tefillah and we have kavanah to ask Hashem in the merit of these tzaddikim, they are with us, and we can definitely notice how their presence is helping us come to coherence within ourselves and with Hashem, the presence, the ultimate presence of all. Thank you, Charlene.
Haya, somebody wrote on the chat they want to know if there's any way they can get in touch with you.
Oh yes, thank you. I'm going to write down my website. 1 minute. Let's see how I do this.
Right.
So you can find me on my website, hayabaker.com, and you can find my contact information there, which is through email primarily. And feel free to get in touch with me. Also, feel free to sign up to my newsletter. I don't bother people with my newsletter. I only contact you when I'm about to teach a course or I'm about to be interviewed by someone, and I'd love you to know about it so you don't miss out. Otherwise, I don't bother people with my newsletter. The bottom of almost every page in my website, hayabaker.com, you can find a sign up form for my newsletter, and you can find out about the course that I'm going to be teaching, God willing, right after Pesach, Bezrat Hashem. Maybe a few weeks after Pesach, I'll be teaching a new course. If you want to know about it, feel free to sign up for my newsletter. And you can also get a free meditation, a free short meditation to enjoy if you sign up to my newsletter. Any other
That'd be perfect.
questions? Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
We thank you so much for sharing so much of yourself with us.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. And I haven't looked at the chat. Maybe I'll check to see if there's anything that you're asking here. Thank you so much for your encouragement. And yes,
I would like
yes?
to ask a question.
Yes.
I was wondering if it's okay for a man to listen to your program here, because of the Alzheimer's parent that they have. I thought maybe it might be helpful.
Yes, please. This is good
Thank
for
you
anyone.
for the permission. Thank you.
Anyone can
Appreciate
listen
it.
to this, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what the policy is of the organizers, but as far as I'm concerned, anyone can listen to this. And I think Naomi is recording this for you. Thank you very much, Naomi, and to all of you.
Thank you.
Such dedication to meet and daven together. I'm so amazed at what all of you are doing, and I'm so grateful to Naomi, to Hashem for this group. Let me see what else, if there are any questions here. I see that's it. And just to remind us again, your father, Yechiel ben.
It was Yechiel ben Miriam Bluma. I had it written down.
Yechiel ben Miriam Bluma. Thank you so much, so we can pray.
Absolutely.
And this is good. This approach is good for any kind of condition. It doesn't replace medical or psychological care as needed, but you know what the power of prayer is. So feel free to use this approach for anything from which you can benefit from coming home to yourself and coming home to Hashem, who's awaiting you within your heart. Thank you so much. May Hashem bless you.
Thank you for your time and giving such poignant points and advice is perfect.